Today's episode, we're going to be talking about winners and winners, how winners win and why they often fail. So let's talk about winners. Winners win because they fail more often than anybody else. I'm obsessed with winners. Seriously, I am really obsessed with winners. Look, I have all of this cabinet over here. And the reason why I have these cabinets here is because they're filled with amazing greatness of people. Like, think about it. There's Joe Montana's helmet. There is Jerry Rice's helmet. There is Magic Johnson. And there's Michael Jordan there. And tons of these things. I do that because I'm surrounding myself with greatness. And all of these areas, it helps me understand the minds of winners. Why I'm obsessed with winners is because I want to understand their mentality. If anybody's ever watched The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, that's a mentality of a winner. Of course, there's so many things we can talk about. We'll save it for another episode. But in this episode, I want to talk to you about failing. Because what happens is that winners fail more often than not. And one of the key elements is that there's three specific things I want to talk to you about on why winners fail, and they use failures and transform it. But it's not all failures, because losers fail too. Because we all fail at some point, is what we take away from the failure and what we do with it. And so there's three things I kind of nailed it down to from a winner's mindset, right? The winner's mindset, I feel like, is number one, it needs that winners have to fail fast. And I'm going to use an example of one of my clients. One of my clients today literally just sent me a message and say, I told him, I go, you're amazing at doing videos. He sent me this testimonial. I thought, like, this is awesome. And I really want to appreciate it. Rafi, thank you so much for your testimonial. And when I said to him, I go, you're really great on camera. You should do more videos. And I encourage all my clients to do more videos because it gets the content out there. It gets their mind and gets the structure right. But that's another story. But one of the things he said, he goes, yeah, I wish I had more time. And the exact thing I wrote to him, I go, yeah, well, let me think about this. It'd take you maybe 10 minutes to come up with the video content, 5 minutes to shoot the video, and maybe 1 minute to actually upload the video. The only thing that's really missing is the fear of rejection, the fear of like the judgment, the fear of actually getting it right, the fear of perfection. That is taking weeks and months for allow that person to press send and upload that video, right? That's exactly what happens to all of us. I have fear, you have fear, we all have fear of either rejection or we have fear of making it perfect. And that is what usually stops us, because that fear of making everything perfect, getting it right, that's the challenge that we all have to face. And so what we got to do is we got to fight through that fear. So how does winners do that? Well, number one is that they fail fast. There's a saying that I absolutely love, and I wish I can give credit to where credit's due, because they said, you want to execute faster than your disbelief. And this is something I teach all my clients. Execute faster than your disbelief. Think about that for a second. What happens is that anytime you commit to something, there's always going to be fear. That's the first thing that pops up. And so therefore, what we got to do is that we have to fight through that. And how you fight through is execute faster. Be faster than that disbelief inside your head that says, you shouldn't do that. Who are you to go on camera? Who are you to write that blog? Who are you to sing that song? Who are you to tell us what to do? Who are you to inspire? Who are you to lead? Who are you? Blah, 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 blah. That disbelief is in all of us. It's in me. It was in me before I press go here. Is in all of us. The challenge you have to face every single day is, how do I execute faster than the disbelief that goes on in my head? What you got to do is you want to execute faster than that, and so therefore you actually get it done, and learn to be comfortable with the fear. You got to dance with that fear. That's number one. Number two, what winners do is they fail forward. And what I mean by failing forward is they learn something from it. Talking about basketball, this is a great book, Kobe Bryant. This is when I'm obsessed with winners and I try to understand their mindset. And when I was reading about Kobe Bryant, just like Michael Jordan, one of the things that the stories that he wrote was about this in his early on in his career, during the playoffs when he was the Lakers, and when he was playing, he said, give me the ball. And he wanted the ball. He wanted the last shot. And during the end, what he said, he failed, I think, five shots in a row. And no, he just didn't miss the shots. It airballed 5 times. Think about that. You're supposed to be the best player. You're supposed to be like the Michael Jordan of the team. And you're it was in the playoffs, in a championship series, which is gone to the championship. They were about to try to win a title. He shot the ball, in the last quarter, he missed 5 times, and all 5 of them were air balls. You know how embarrassing that is, right? Missing not even just hitting the rim and missing the backboard. No, he missed the net completely. Well, how does that affect you? Well, how does this affect you is this. Kobe Bryant said after that, he goes, I didn't care what people thought of me, because what that does for most people is to take their mind goes, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I shouldn't be the one who take the last shot. But here's the thing. He didn't care about what anybody else, we didn't care about what everybody thought of him, because there was, just imagine the amount of media, right, that talks about him and go, hey, you shouldn't be the guy, he embarrassment, you lost it for the team. But he didn't listen to that noise. You know what he did? He failed forward. Failing forward means this. Failing backwards is that you fail and it takes you out of the game. I've done that so many times. When I failed, the embarrassment was so hard that I just takes me out and I'm never going to do that thing again. And the thing is that when you fail forward, what he did was that instead of listening to the voice, he failed forward. What do you mean failing forward? He learned from it. You know why? He learned the reason why he was missing the ball was because of his conditioning. See, the thing is with his conditioning was that when he went from college to playing NBA, he wasn't used to the 82 game schedule, plus the amount of games in the playoffs. So he wasn't used to having the conditioning to be able to last that long in the season and have enough energy in his legs to make that last shot. And so he learned from it instead of hiding away from it. And what he did was, instead of missing those air balls, he learned in the next season, during the offseason, to train harder. And what he did was he trained harder and harder, which means that allowed him to not just sustain an 82 game season, but to be able to have 82 games plus 4 more series into the playoffs, into the finals, and to win championships. And thus he did. He won multiple championships because he conditioned, but because he learned by failing, by missing those shots. He didn't go, oh, not good enough. What he did was he failed forward, which means that he created lessons to learn from those failures. Third thing, last thing here is about failing firm. Failing firm. What does that mean? Oftentimes what happens is that the difference between the winners and losers is this. See, the winners, what they do is they got to learn how to fail, but they also know what type of failures that they need to risk. Because let's face it, there's tons of failures you can actually do. But the problem is sometimes you got to choose the right failure. You can't just go, and a lot of times, like some of us are going to go, oh, you know what? I hate this job. I'm going to quit my job now and I'm going to go change to something else. Or I'm going to quit this business. I'm going to go do that. The problem with that type of idea is that that's sometimes risking too much. And when you risk too much, you might take yourself out of the game. Winners know when you fail, you're actually failing to make sure that you can play another day. And this is a perfect example of rock climbers. If you've ever seen rock climbers, what they do is they're risk takers, so we think. But they're risk takers, of course, but they also know what risk to take and what not to take. And there's a great documentary, escapes my mind right in a moment, Free Solo, right? In Free Solo, this guy free soloed El Capitan. He climbs all the way up to the mountains, right? Up to this thing, and there was one point that he goes, you know what? It just doesn't feel like today. It's not the day. And that is what the smart climbers do, because there's a point of yeah, I can risk it possibly, but if I risk it, I'm going to fall and I'm going to die. And when you die, you can't live another day. So winners, what they do is they pick and choose what they fail in. If they fail, they know they can land on their feet firm, because they know they're going to learn from it, because they're failing forward. And what they learn is that I can learn from this so I can improve. And it allows that to do. So if you have the mentality of actually failing often, which is really important, fail often, faster, implement faster than your disbelief. Number 2, fail forward, which you're going to learn from every failure you do. And number 3, fail firm, which means that you can fail often, but making sure that failure is not going to take you out of the game. Because this game of life that we're playing here is about learning how to fail so we can learn from it so we can play another day. Winners learn from it and therefore don't win the first time. They don't learn necessarily being perfect the first time. What they do is they learn by making sure they are actually playing another day. That is a winner's mindset. Taking those 3 lessons there, I hope that has been helpful. If it is, please give me a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up there too as well. Comment, let me know what your thoughts are. If you want to add to this, I would love to hear it, because this is all about helping you becoming a better winner and creating those mindset. Hope this has been helpful. Take care.
My name's Murray Warner. I'm a owner of a chiropractic practice in Mona Vale called Warner Family Chiropractic. Before I started with Nitro, I've been with Nitro now, according to my sticker, my new logo, I've been with Nitro 4 years. At the time I was in solo practice, I'm still a solo practitioner. I had 1 staff member and we just weren't really growing. I'd sort of reached a moderate level of success and I had no idea how to go to the next stage or to grow my practice any further. I was a bit like Groundhog Day, you just felt that maybe this was as good as life was ever going to get. We weren't going to do anything different. Had a moderate level of success. I was kind of content. I could pay my bills. I couldn't really go on holidays. I couldn't do things with my family. I got a young family. I had a younger family back then. Still got a young family. And I thought, well, maybe I'm just going to be on the treadmill of life and get in the grind and get up Monday through Friday, work every day, do my thing. And that was just, it was going to be too hard. You know, you hear the stories as a chiropractor from other chiropractors that, you know, things are different now. It's harder to grow a practice. It's you know, as a solo practitioner, you should work with people. You need to do different things, and you know, just felt like maybe it is all too hard, and it was easier just to settle, I suppose, for the status quo. Why did I join Nitro? I suppose I joined Nitro. I've been thinking about it. I've brought my staff / my wife on this Nitro retreat, and we were talking about it the day before. And there's a part of I wanted to come to Nitro to belong to something, to a group. To, you know, being in solo practice, you're just by yourself, and you think you're the only one with your problems and doing those sort of things. And it looked like a great place to go. I wanted a tactic really to start with. I wanted to know what was the one thing that if I said this, you know, my life would change and I'd see hundreds and hundreds of people come to my office. So initially I wanted, you know, some tactic, but when I got into it, I learned it was more about, you know, me and my personal development and my growth, that if I hung around with some people that had a growth mentality but also had the same problems, you figure out ways around the situation that you're in, and you could grow and develop by, one, surrounding yourself with people who were more successful or as successful as you, but it also experienced the same problem. So I wanted to be sort of part of a group, really. I had a couple of friends who were in Nitro at the time, and they said, you've just got to, you know, you can stay with the status quo, or you can try something different. And I suppose I just went, well, what have I got to lose? You know, I could go and do one of these events and stay exactly where I am, or I could go to one of these events and maybe something would change. And you know, a lot of the change it's been as much personal as it has been professional. So, you know, that development and growth happened in both areas of my life. And I think if you can grow the personal, the professional just follows suit. You know, we were just talking in the session before that, you know, Nitro has some values and some pillars, and I think as a chiropractor we all want to make some impact in our lives and in our communities around us. And you know, that I think that voice is in all of us as chiropractors. We all want to do better, have a bigger practice, have a bigger influence in our communities. And I think just, you know, the voice does get in your head. It's going, well, is that it? I've done a couple of different coaching courses. I've done some coaching with some guys that are very scripted, very do this, very cookie cutter type sort of thing, and that works to a certain level, but it doesn't make you very authentic. You feel like you're really even more on the treadmill of life. You're doing something that you're not even that excited about. And I also tried going down the technique path. You know, if I got really good at a technique or a skill, one certain skill, that would make all the difference. I've thought about giving up and having another career. It's hard being a chiropractor, and being a solo chiropractor is hard because we think we're the only ones having those problems with our clients, with our patients, with our families or whoever around us. And you know, there are moments where you go, God, surely it would be easier, you know, to just go and get a job. The group, you know, without Laurence, and there wouldn't be Nitro, and without Nitro there probably wouldn't be Laurence. So as much as Laurence cultivates and supports and maybe holds you accountable for things, the group has a massive effect. And you learn as much from Laurence, you learn as much from the group. So they keep you accountable. Laurence keeps you accountable. The whole situation keeps you sort of going, and you keep faith in what you're doing, and you know that you are making an impact. There was a low point before I found Laurence that I thought my situation was just my situation, and I was going to be moderately successful. There's been low points throughout the journey too. You know, things happen. You know, I've been involved with Nitro for 4 to 5 years now, and there's been low points during that. And it's really easily, without the network that Nitro and Laurence create, that you could easily go down a quick rabbit hole. Things just became easier. Is probably once I started working with Laurence, started to get clear on where I wanted to go with my practice, with my life. It just helped with that vision. We all have a vision and we all have a goal, and Laurence helps you understand that you probably never get there, but because once you get there, you'll go, that wasn't that bad. I think I should create another vision. It makes you think of visions bigger than what you think you're capable of. I've learned to accept that life's a journey. It's not a destination. So one of the things to do to your worst enemy is hope they win the lotto, because many people who win the lotto end up more miserable than what they were. They think just wealth, having financial freedom is going to bring happiness, and in the end they go, now all I have is people wanting money. I've got other bills that all sort of go along the way. So you often find when you get a goal, there's just another goal just behind it, and you have to adapt and readjust to that. And with Laurence and Nitro's guidance, you just know that there's always another step. A lot of people think that having a chiropractic coach is somebody who's going to give you some cookie cutter result and make you into something that you're not, that you don't want to be, or you don't think you can be. Coming along to joining Nitro and working with Laurence, you're going to just learn how to be a better version of yourself. You're going to get away, you're going to come away to a beautiful location like we are in the Mornington Peninsula. You're going to check out for a couple of days, so when you get back you can check back in and really make a difference. So, until you experience it, until you lean into it, you're not going to know. And there's some people that have come and gone out of this group and will come back again, I'm sure. You're not alone. No matter how good or bad you think it is, it can always be better. And I heard a saying once, it takes a community to raise a family. And it takes a community to raise the chiropractic profession. It takes a community to raise your own game. So if you want to raise your game, get involved in a community, and Nitro is essentially a community that's going to help you grow and evolve and be a better version of yourself.
Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, that subscribe button, you should press it. And because I want to share videos with you just like this one to help you grow your practice.